Welcome to your own channel of Right Funda. We will be starting the doubt discussion session for today. Today we have taken the first doubt that have been asked by Abhishek. Let's see the question. The question says like this. A charged particle A is fixed at the base of a uniform slope of inclination alpha. Another charged particle B is placed on the slope at an angular position beta from the line of greatest slope through the position of the first particle. Coefficient of friction between the particle B and the slope is mu, and mu is less than 10 alpha. Asking for the particle B to stay in equilibrium, what could be the maximum value of angle beta? Let's solve and try to understand the question. Let's understand the problem. Here, this is an inclined plane. This is an inclined plane, and this plane is placed on a horizontal surface, and this angle is equal to alpha. This plane is placed with an angle alpha. This angle is given to us as alpha angle. And on this inclined plane, there is a roughness is there, and mu is less than tan alpha. Meaning thereby mg sin alpha is more than mu mg cos alpha. So if you put a charged particle here, then it will have a tendency to go down. It will have a tendency to move down. This is given in the question. So alpha is given and mu is given. Second, and mu condition is given, this is less than tan alpha. Now what happened? It has a tendency to go down. What do you put? You put a charged particle here and another charged particle here. And this has to be in equilibrium. And this charged particle put in such a way, this is the line of greatest slope, this is the inclined plane parallel to inclined plane. In this line you put, this angle is equal to beta. When you put a charged particle, this remain in equilibrium. So alpha, beta and mu are given to us. And from these conditions, we have to find out what should be the condition between these three quantity given quantity, so that for what maximum value of beta, it is possible that the particle will not slide down. Particle will remain in equilibrium. So let's think how to solve. If we draw the free body diagram of this block, then what are the forces will be acting? Let's see. One force that will be acting is mg force and normal direction. That mg I'll resolve into two components. One will be equal to mg sin alpha. Another component will be mg cos alpha will be there. That is perpendicular to surface, not showing here. And normal direction down. Normal direction of mg cos alpha down. So we got that n for equilibrium, n is equal to mg cos alpha. That we know. And mg cos alpha, it will have a tendency to move. When you put the two charged particle here, Q1, Q2, two charged particle is put, then this will repel this one, and then force will be there, electrostatic force will be there like this, K Q1, Q2 by R square. So what happened? There is a friction force will act. Friction force will act in which direction? Let's calculate when which direction the friction force will act. Friction force will be a static friction force, number one, because it is in equilibrium, and it will act in the opposite direction in which the particle has a tendency to move. So this two force ka resultant you want to find out. Suppose the resultant is like this, the friction force will be acting like this. So this is the friction force will be there. And we could have calculated this also, because this value I have written K Q square by R square, this resultant we find out, and the friction force should be opposite of this, and friction force should be less than equal to mu n, that is mu mg, and from that we could have solved. But if you read the question carefully, nothing is given. This force is not given. This force is not given. Then how can you solve this one? So let's think, how can we solve this problem without this Q1, Q2 or distance separability is given? Basically, we have to solve the problem by avoiding this electrostatic force, but that is not given in the questions. So how to do? Let's think, how can it be done? Suppose had we know the electrostatic force, we could have applied Lami's theorem also. The three forces are there, they're equilibrium. We could have result into component, you can equal to zero also, but this is not given. So what, and the friction force has to act opposite to the resultant of this. So we don't know where friction force will act right now, because we don't know the magnitude of this force. So let's assume that friction force acts in some directions like this, making some angle theta. So right, we have to resolve the into components. So if you resolve it into perpendicular direction to this line, because we have to avoid this direction, so write this is theta, so f sine theta will be here, and this also resolve to along this and perpendicular to this I could resolve, then this I'll write equal to mg sine alpha into sine beta, sine alpha sine beta. And as it is equilibrium, these two forces must be balancing each other. So if we write the equations for this, then we can get some equation where theta is the angle made with the friction force along this line. So write the equation f sine theta has to balance mg sine alpha sine beta. Okay, or this f has to be equal to mg sine alpha sine beta by sine theta. This is the value of friction force we got in terms of alpha, beta, and another unknown variable called theta. So this friction force has to be static friction force. So as has to be static friction force, that has to be less than equal to mu1. So this and we know the mg cos alpha. So this friction force has to be less than equal to mu into n mg cos alpha. If I take this value and substitute here, then I can get this. After substituting this value of friction here, I can put it and I write mg sine alpha sine beta by sine theta has to be less than equal to mu mg cos alpha. So mg get cancelled, and this I want to write this. I'll take to this side. I can get an equation, or we can get beta max is less than equal to sine inverse of mu cot alpha. So we can put the charge particle in the line along this line, which is making beta angle. So beta ka maximum value is this much. This is the maximum value of beta. This much we can make so that this can remain in equilibrium. Subham has sent the next doubt. We'll go through the question. Here is a beautiful question. It says, a sphere of radius small r carries a surface charge density sigma is equal to a vector dot r vector, where a vector is a constant vector and small r vector is the radius vector of a point of the sphere relative to its center. Question is asking, find the electric field strength vector at the center of the sphere. Let's try to understand what the question is saying. The question is saying that the surface charge density equal to A dot R, and where A is a constant vector. So if I want to see where their constant vector is there, then A vector can be like this, can be like this, can be like this, any one constant vector is there. So let me choose my A vector to be like this. My vector I have taken, or in other words I will say, wherever the A vector is there, I have taken that as the x-axis. Wherever the A vector is there, I have taken that line as the A vector. And R is the position vector. And I consider this point, what will be its potential charge density will be there. Here I want to calculate. Then I know that rho is equal to A dot R. So I can write this equal to A R cos theta, where theta is the angle between A vector and R vector. This is my angle here. So if I put the values of A and R, the magnitudes are there, they are constants, and I will put a theta value, I can get the charge density everywhere. So what is this charge density? We will try to understand this, what we got the charge as a function of theta. We could try to find out what is this charge density there. If you see, charge is everywhere here, and charge will be, this side will be plus charge will be there, and here the charge will be minus. Why? because we know that cos depend upon theta value, and 0 to 90 theta cos theta equal to positive, again beyond it will be negative till 270, again it will be positive. So this type of charge distributions will be there, and for this charge distribution we have to find the field. So question reduces to what, even the A dot R something given, question reduces to if one side positive charge, one side negative charge, and charge density of the type AR cos theta, what is the field at the center of the sphere. Let us consider a ring here of this type. We have considered ring of this type. So such that the ring, this 2 radius I have written, width of the ring there. So this is the small angle that has been subtended here is, I'll take as the d theta. This will be equal to d theta angle. This angle is equal to d theta angle, and so how much width I have considered, this line equal to r into d theta. So I have considered r d theta region we have considered. So this ring will produce some field at this point, and we know the electric field due to a charged ring, uniformly charged ring at its center, and every point on the ring charge is constant, because for all of them this is a angle is theta, because semi-vertex angle of the cone will be equal to theta, same thing there. So for that we can calculate ring. Similarly this side also there will be rings will be there, and for those rings I can also field will be there, and their negatively charged ring will be there, will be like this, so it will be added together. So all the rings, different rings are there, they will produce the electric field at this time, and we have to integrate all these things to calculate the electric field intensity at the center. So to find out what will the charge I have considered, the charge that I have considered dq amount of charge I have considered is equal to 2 pi radius of this ring. Suppose the radius of the ring I take, this value is to be equal to y, and this length I have taken the x. So 2 pi y is the length into r d theta into this whole multiplied by sigma or rho, whatever be the surface charge density that we have taken rho we have written, so we will be writing the rho only, we will be writing here. Okay? Rho is the surface charge density given. Okay? So this value you can substitute, and I can write dq is equal to, what is y? Y you will see is equal to 2 r sine theta is there, 2 pi r sine theta into r d theta into a r cos theta. So if we simplify this one, then 2 will be there, pi will be there, and there are 3 r's are there. So a into r cube, they are constant quantity, and sine theta d cos theta d theta. This much charge is there on the ring, considered ring. The ring that I considered, this is carrying this much amount of charge. Okay. So let's start. We know the electric field due to a ring at the center, and which is at a distance x from this, and this x, we know this x is equal to nothing but what, r cos theta. This is equal to r cos theta. This x value will be substituting. Radius of the ring is equal to y is equal to r sine theta, and it is at a distance we are finding x equal to r cos theta. We'll be writing the electric field here, and we'll be integrating this thing to get the result. Okay. We know the electric field at the center of a ring is equal to k q. We have taken charge in the q with dq, k dq x by r square, where r square is equal to y square. Here we take y square into x square to the power 3 by 2. So if we substitute the values of those x and y, where x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sine theta, and we have the value of our dq. If we substitute everything, we'll end up here with this expression will be getting after substituting. And this is in which direction? The direction of this will be in minus I cap, here direction is there, or I can say that this will be equal to minus a cap direction, and in place of minus a cap I can write minus a vector by mod a, minus a vector by mod a. If I substitute here, this A will be cancelled, and I can put the value of A, K, to be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. And if I substitute, it will not be R square, it will be R sin theta cos theta. So this is equal to rho R by 2 epsilon naught, and here will be having sin theta cos square theta d theta. So to get the total electric field, I have to integrate both the sides. And where to where I have to integrate? I have to integrate this. All the rings I have to consider. So I have to integrate from 0 to pi. If we integrate from 0 to pi, so if we carry out the integration, then this value will come out to be 2 by 3. So minus A into R by 2 epsilon naught into 2 by 3 after integration. So this value we get the electric field at the center of the cell will be equal to this minus 1 by 3 R into A vector. This is the electric field there. So wherever this constant vector A is there, the electric field will be opposite to that at the center of the sphere. So we calculated the electric field at the center of the sphere if the surface charge density rho is given by 1 A vector dot R vector, where A is a constant vector, R is the radius vector there. So one side positive, one side negative charge will be there. How will be the field intensity? We calculate. Here is a question which has been sent by Subham Sagar. Let's see his doubt. Here is another conceptual questions from electrostatics. A positively charged disk is placed on a horizontal plane and a charged particle is released from a certain height on its axis. The particle just reaches the center of the disk. Select the correct alternatives. Question is asking whether particle has a negative charge on it. Total potential energy, gravitational electrostatic of the particle first increases then decreases. Total potential energy of the particle first decreases then increases. Or total potential energy of the particle continuously decreases. So we'll try to understand the question. Then there is a disk like this, and in this disk, above the disk, we put another charged particle here. So at some height we put the charged particle. So when we release, then it is just able to touch this one, just able to reach up to this. So what should happen? If this is positively charged particle is there, Q is by positive charge, so and this is negative charge, then this would have come accelerated downward. It should be attracted toward this. Gravity also pulling downwards, and this electrostatic force of pull later. So both it will come here. Not the question of just able to reach. You should come with and hit it with some velocity. So this cannot be negative. This has to be a positive charge particle. So this option becomes wrong. Then this is total potential energy. What happened to total potential? Let's see what must be happening here. What must be happening is that what are the forces acting? एक तो हो गया mg लग रहा है, and there is electrostatic force there, repulsive force between these two. So if it is coming downward, suppose electrostatic force were more than mg, then it would have gone away. So definitely the gravitational force must be greater than the initial electrostatic force. So the net force in the particle at initial moment must be in the downward directions. But as it comes nearby, what happens? Gravitational force remains same, but electrostatic force increases. So first it will be accelerated downward. At some point here, what happens? The acceleration will be equal to 0. After that, acceleration will be in the negative direction. So what happens? From here to here, velocity increases. Here velocity becomes maximum, and after that velocity again decreases from here to here. So if it's the kinetic energy from here to here, kinetic energy increases, then kinetic energy decreases. But we know the total energy is constant, kinetic plus potential. So as kinetic increases, potential must decrease. So here to here potential energy must decrease, then here to here potential energy must increase. So but the C option says the potential energy first increases then decreases. No, this happens kinetic energy. So potential what happens? Potential the particle first decreases then increases. Fourth option says that the total potential of the particle continuously decreases. No. Potential is not continuously decreasing. Potential energy is first decreasing, then increasing. Kinetic energy is first increasing, then decreasing. This is the question we discuss of the answers we got. Next doubt has been raised by Master Animesh. Let's read the question. A uniformly charged fixed ring having a charge capital Q and radius capital R has a small charge minus Q on its axis at a point A, where OA is equal to D and D is much smaller than R. When the charge was released, the distance AO was covered in time T. Then which of the following statements is or are correct? So what is given to us is like this. There is a ring is there and a charge particle here is released from this, and this charge particle negative, this is positive. So as it's released, it will come like this. So to cover from A to O, from starting point to center of the ring, it take a time t time it takes. So different questions has been asked like this, and given a approximation like this, that initial distance d is much lesser than r. This is the given. Let's see what the question has been asked. First option is saying that for OB is equal to 2D. Suppose we release a D. Had we not released a D, we would have released a 2D. Then the distance AO would be covered in a time t by 3. Suppose you start from another point, B point you release, and B point is 2D distance from the O. So from A to O coming, how much time it will take? Second thing, if the OB is equal to root 2D, another question, another situation, OB equal to root 2D and release from B, then the distance AO would covered by what time? And next question is that if Q is doubled, then this same time taken T means A to O, time taken to cover from A to O become double. If R is doubled, then T will increase or decrease. R the radius of the ring. So 4 questions are there. Let's discuss this question. So as we release the charge particle from A, then it will be this minus Q there. So it will be attracted toward this and it will be coming toward the O point. As it comes here, everywhere it will experience electric force due to the electric field. Suppose it is at a distance x at any instant of time. So we will draw the free body diagram. Then the electric field will be equal to KQX by R square plus x square to the power 3 by 2, we know. So that's why it will be experiencing a force F is equal to QE, and this is equal to into QL rating. This much force will be experiencing. So from this force, once we got the force, the regular process, how to find a time period to calculate from going from A to O, I want to calculate time, then I should calculate from this acceleration. I should have calculated the acceleration by dividing by m, 1 by m karke. Then this v dv by dx I would have written, and dx I would have written the v as a function of x I would have written. Then again in place of v I would have written dx by dt, and I will taken, but the process will be very complicated. The process will be very good. This is a regular process we do, but if we do this cannot be solved right now because the integration will be complicated. But if you see the question very carefully, you observe the keyword, then you need not have to do all these things. Because question is saying that this distance d, OA distance, the d is much lesser than r. If it is much lesser than, this function become very simple, and at this time you will see this force, this x can be neglected as compared to this r. So this naturally r cube will be there. So equal to KQQ by r cube into x will be there. And in place of this force is in the direction, if x had a positive, this will be negative will be there. So force will be here, minus sign I'll be putting. And acceleration I can calculate divided by mass. This is the mass acceleration. So what we saw, the acceleration of the particle is directly proportional to displacement with a negative sign. So this will be executing as HM, simple harmonic motion. So once we observe this, conclude this was a simple harmonic motion, after that all the parameters can be calculated, and from this I can calculate that this body omega square is equal to this much. So time period of moving, time period equal to 2 pi under root of m r cube by KQQ. This is the time period of oscillations will be there. Let's call it T naught, give a name T naught. Now what is given in the question is that when you release the charge particle from A point, then coming from A to O, it took T time, and we know this T naught is the time taken from going here and here. So what is given to us is that this T is equal to T naught by 4, the time period oscillation O to A. Now let's go and check what the options are saying. The A option is saying that for OB is equal to 2D, if charge were released from B, then the distance AO would be covered in T by 3 time. Let's check. So we know that earlier it was released from D distance, that is OA point. Now it is limited 2D distance. So now question is asking to calculate from A to O, means it is asking from half amplitude the mean position, A by 2 to mean position, and is equal to amplitude is here. So this time we know it takes a time of T naught by 6 time. So this T will be equal to our T naught by 6 time. But we know this T, last we calculate T is equal to T naught by 4. A to O time is there last case. So this T naught is equal to 4T. If I put here 4T by 6, so equal to 2T by 3 time it will take to travel from A to O if it released from 2D distance. So this option is wrong. Then second option is saying that for OB is equal to root 2D. If the charge were released from B, then the distance A would cover in T by 4 times, T by 8 times. Let's see what happening. So right around here root 2D. So if I draw the phasor diagram, I'll draw the phasor diagram here. So if I draw the phasor diagram here, root 2D there, and from it has to cover to D distance. So it has to travel from this by uniform circular motion analogy will be doing. So it has to cover, this is equal to root 2D, this is a D, this is root 2D. So they equal to 45 degree angle. So quarter circle is so it has to cover a time of T naught by 8 time. It will cover T naught by 8 time. Okay, but this is not T naught by 8. T naught by 8 is there, but we know that T naught equal to 40. So 4T by 8 is equal to T by 2 time will take, because T naught is the total time period of oscillations is there. But T in terms of T is saying T is the time taken from the A to O when it is released from the O position. So this option also wrong. If Q is doubled, then T is doubled. If Q is doubled, then T is doubled or not. Let's check. We have seen there, we calculate the time period of oscillations, T to be equal to, T was equal to 2 pi under root of m r cube by k q cube. So here Q in the denominator is there. If Q is doubled, then time period is not going to be doubled here. Time will be reduced in this case. Okay? And again the square root is here. So time will be double, time period will not be double, or T will not be double. T not the equation there. Same thing. T is equal to 4 times there. Then R is doubled, then T increases. Yes, R in the numerator there. So if this R is doubled, then T increases. So we got this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. This is equal to 2T by 3 we obtained. So we discussed the questions. They were very good questions. Simple harmonic motions concept has been discussed in this one. With this, we have come to the end of today's doubt discussion session. You want to convey something, you can write your message in the comment box. You have still further doubt that to be discussed, you can send your doubt to writefonda@gmail.com. So signing off for today. So keep learning, keep enjoying, have a lot of fun. Bye. Take care.